Hello everyone, today I'm going to play with my Art Philosophy Woodland set, and I'm going to be using this, I'll bring it up, by Nick Knight from Unsplash. I'll put the link below. I'm going to use this as my inspiration. The paints that I'm going to be using are these. And you can see that I've done lots of various mixes here just to see what. Look at that redwood and daylight, that's gorgeous. I have to remember to try and use that. So yes, I've already filled this in my painter's colour diary, paint 9x12 one. So I decided to have a hunt through and which palette would I like to use to paint that reference picture with. So yes, I think that's going to make, I won't be like copying it exactly. I'm going to be using this watercolor sketchbook, which if you look through on previous videos you will see that I have put a link to that on Amazon. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's make a start. So I'm going to want to have my mountains and some kind of a building. I will probably just do one of the buildings because this is square and basically this is more of an oblong, so I'm probably going to cut some of that out, I think. So with my pencil, and I'm using a Blackwing natural pencil, I'm just going to do some kind of rough outline for the mountains going down, and then I just want one of these buildings. So we'll just get that in there roughly. And we've got a bit coming down the side, and that does go down further. Okay, and then we've got these kind of stony steps and a few bigger stones there. Actually, we want that to be going a bit more like that, don't we? Like so, and then like so. So just so we've got a bit of an idea of what it is that we are doing. Okay. So let's start with our sky. And if we look at our sky, it's kind of coming across, and it's a sort of a bluey grey going into more grey at the top there. So we will have a go at that. I think I'm going to wet my sky area. Like so. And let's see if this stream colour, I think we might add a little bit of the What's that one called? Greystone. Okay. Just to dull it down slightly. Okay. So we want to be coming all the way across here. But we might need a bit more blue there, because there's quite a divide going across this mountain here. And then let's get a bit more of the grey. It's quite watered down, and get some of that grey in there, and it just kind of peters out. Okay, so we've got some sky going on there. Which bit shall we do next that's not going to be in the way? Well, we've got quite a strong mountain coming across here, and it's got quite a lot of green on the top. That's kind of about right. So let's see. So I'm just going to do this because that's quite distinguished there. This mountain is more in detail, and that one's less detail, and that's even less detail. So because that's wet there, I'm going to go here, and it does actually come more or less from the top here, going down. So we will get some of that in there, but we also need a lot of the stony, craggy bits, don't we? I think we'll have that coming down. I'm going to leave those lighter bits, I think. Okay. So maybe we could do this bit here next, which is this bit here, but it's much more yellowy and greeny. As I said, I'm not trying to copy this painting. This photo. I think we'll have a little bit of the cavern in there. We also need some green, so let's get some green going on there. Now, this is going to be what I call my underpainting. There's probably a better word for it than that. So I'm not being very precious about it. I'm just wanting to get key colours, key structures in there. I'm not trying to do any kind of detail at the moment. So let's get this farthest mountain in, which kind of will come across there, and that is really, hasn't really got much detail on it at all because it's much more grey. And then in between we want something that is not exactly like, maybe just so it's slightly different, I might try adding a bit of the blue to this to show to that grey. So I've added a little bit of the stream to the grey stone to kind of make it a slightly different coloured grey. We have still got some green going on, but perhaps I need to make the green a bit greyer as well, because it's further back in the distance. So hopefully we can kind of get an impression of near, further away and furthest away. Maybe that needs to be colder. What colour shall we do? Mist? It's like it's too... I'm just going to add some of this mist in here, because that colour was too warm to be far away. So I'm having to play a bit here. So we will see. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Got a lot more green down the bottom here than you have elsewhere. All right then. So let's get some, now the roof, if you can see, the roof is grass. Well, I'm only doing this one here. So we've got a grass roof, which is very green and yellow. So we will add a bit more yellow there to what we've already got. And what other green have we got? Deep moss. Okay. Perhaps we'll add a bit of that in there. So that we've got our mossy roof. And because I don't want anything else to bleed in there, I think I'm going to pause and dry. Okay, I think that's probably going to be dry enough. So let's get the basics, or the what I call the undercoat, in for our building. And what colour shall I use? This is called Bear. So I'm going to use Bear. I might obviously add some variation to it, but let's start with that. Right, I think we will do the other side slightly different. We'll add some of this, what is this called, ridge, just so as it's a slightly different colour. And the same for this side. So I am not putting in any detail whatsoever at the minute, still. Looks like I've missed a bit of the... And then we've got the stones. So I think we will use this ridge colour for these, well, for some of the stones. And I will probably use a pencil to kind of fill that in and tidy that up. That is running. Oh, the joys of controlling watercolour or not. There we go. Saved by the tissue. Right. So while that is drying, we probably need to get a bit more detail in here on these mountains and down here with these grasses and things that are going on here. So which shall we start with first? I think that maybe I'm going to use that's it. Let's find Payne's Grey. Payne's Grey 60%, Payne's Grey 30%. So these are Caran d'Ache luminants, and I think they might help me define some of those rocks there. So I'm having to move about the painting while other bits are drying, but what I want to get in are some kind of darker bits. That kind of show these rocks. Let's have a little look. I've definitely got some darker bits underneath. This is more cracks than rocks. The rocks are more kind of down here, really. Trying to kind of use where my paint has gone. To kind of build this up a little bit. Right at the moment, I'm not liking what I'm doing. May need to rectify it in some way. What I wanted to do is get never mind, let's keep going and see what happens. Sometimes we can panic and we don't need to. So we'll just give a bit of an impression going up here of, as it gets higher, we don't need it to be so detailed. And also in here we're going to need some grasses So let's see, what greens have I got here. Those look quite interesting. We have got foliage, which is a Dermot Light Fast. We've got ivy, another Dermot Light Fast. And then we have got moss green, which is a Caran d'Ache. So let's just see if we can add in some grasses that might help my poor little rocks that I haven't done very well. See if that helps them come alive a bit more. Perhaps we can have some couple of taller ones in the corner here. I think it's making a difference. I don't know. What do you all think? Okay, now we need to get something in here a bit more. And I need to do those steps a bit better. So let's leave those there and let's see what we can use. We need quite a, what colour is this? Okay, so this is a luminance number 741. It's called Dark Flesh. Is that 5%, I think? And I'm just going to fill in the bits around these stones. Just to hopefully, yes, that's done it. That looks a lot better. Right, let's do this bit here next. We don't need as much detail going back here because it's further away in the distance, but I think I probably need some in this bit. But let's go with a 30%. So I'm just going to, perhaps it would help if I sharpened it. Let's give it a sharpen. That's a bit better. So perhaps I can just show that they're coming down here. And then we can maybe get a bit more green in there. But I don't want it to be, I just want it to be, how can I put it, more blurry? Because this isn't my foreground. This is supposed to be further back. There, that's better. I've got a little bit more going on there. Right, back to here. What are we going to use here? Do I use a bit more paint? And let's see, at the front here we've got more green. But we've also got like a reddy purpley colour that I will show you in a moment. using the end of this. What is this? This is a fan stippler, just to get some other texture in there. And if we look, we've got a little bit of these kind of ruddy, pinky, purpley flowers going on. So I think I'm going to use the foxberry for that. Yep, that looks about the right colour, I think. Now then, let's just do some little bits here and there. Perhaps we could add, mainly because I don't like using a colour and not having it anywhere else. So I think I'm going to add some into that roof. I'll add more detail to. And now that I've got that there, you know me, go for it. Let's just go for it and see if we can add some more interest here. Okay, so I guess we're going to need some detail in here. How dry or wet is this? That's not too bad. So we're going to need some browns. Let me find some brown pencils. That one looks brown. So does that one. And what else have we got here? Oh. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm going to be using, but I've picked out burnt sienna, sandstone. What is this? A natural brown. They're all the Derwent Lightfast. And then, good grief. Oh. Crimson aubergine. Right. So let's start with our natural brown and see if we can, well, as long as I don't get my head in the way, see if we can get a bit more detail going on here and some definition for this building. Now we've got that door coming out, haven't we? And that goes like so. So I'm going to come back to that. But what I do need to do, if I can get at the right angle, is get these lines in. And some going that way. And then this roof like so, and we've got a bit that goes across here, and then these go down the other way. Okay, and then back to this way. All right, then let's see if we can make that a tad more interesting by just getting some other colour in there. Let's have a go with you. Because we don't want it to look all one colour. Which way does the door go? The door goes this way. With a door handle. And I think that's it. We'll get that bit going round there. I think we need something, yes, because there's bits that are quite worn away with paint, so we almost need, I don't really want to use white, I don't think, no, yeah. That gives it a little bit more interest, I think. Building those layers up a little bit. And I want to make that more pronounced. Okay, let's go with the roof now, because we need that to look quite textured. Where are my greens? They're my greens. Okay, so let's see what we can, scribbledy marks we can do here to show that there's this grass growing on the roof. Or moss, or whatever you want to call it. But it does look very scraggly, so I don't want it to look too neat. Okay, then we have our grass. Okay, I need to do something there. I think it just needed blocking in, but something doesn't. Darker. I've got darker green. What are you? Oh, well, let's try malachite. Yeah, just needed a tad of something there. Right, well, that looks a bit blobby, doesn't it? I'm being a bit nitpicky now. I'm just using a damp brush. There's no paint on this brush. And then I'm going to get some greenery in there, I think. Greenery around the edge here. So as it doesn't, and maybe that's what we need here. Maybe it's just looking a little bit too perfect around there. So perhaps I extend that so that it's going up a bit more. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? That's much better. Yeah, further away. Okay, right. I think I'm going to leave it there. So, just to remind you, this was my inspiration by Nick Knight. I've obviously cut some of that off, and I'm not trying to copy it. I'm not trying to make a photograph. But here we go. Here is my version of those rocks on the left. We've got some lovely colours, bright colours going on there. We've got our little building there with its grass roof. And yes, I guess what I could do, what I really ought to do, is take this masking tape off. Oh dear, this one's ripped the page as well. I'm not doing very well with my masking tape of late. But then again, these aren't masterpieces. These are me playing in sketchbooks, trying out techniques. So I'm not wanting them to be perfect. So there you go. I think that this Woodlands set, Art Philosophy Woodland set, yeah, this is you can tell I've had this for a while. I think that makes quite a nice little palette, and you could always have that as an autumny palette. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed me sharing using those particular paints. Have a good day or evening.